Hi, my dears. Today's class is tumors of eyelids. Tumors of eyelids. Almost all types of tumors arising from the skin, connective tissue, glandular tissue, blood vessels, nerves, and muscles can involve the eyelids. Classification 1. Benign tumors, 2. Precancerous conditions, and 3. Malignant tumors. First, we will see the benign tumors. These include simple papilloma, nevus, angioma, hemangioma, neurofibroma, sebaceous adenoma, etc. First, we will see the simple papilloma. Papillomas are the most common benign tumors arising from the surface epithelium. These occur in two forms, squamous papillomas and seborrheic keratosis. First one, squamous papillomas or simple papillomas. They are derived from squamous cells. They are seen in adults as very slow growing or stationary raspberry-like growths or as pedunculated lesion, usually involving the lid margin. These may be non-specific or related to human papilloma virus, that is viral warts or verrucae vulgaris. Treatment of choice is simple excision. This is a picture of simple papilloma, that is pedunculated viral wart. Next is seborrheic keratosis, that is a type of papilloma otherwise called as basal cell papilloma. It's derived from basal cells, occurs in middle-aged and older persons. Their surface is friable, verrucous and slightly pigmented. In this picture you can clearly see the seborrheic keratosis. Next is xanthelasma. These are creamy yellow plaque-like lesions which are frequently involve the skin of upper and lower lids near the inner canthus. Xanthelasma occurs more commonly in middle-aged women. Xanthelasma represents lipid deposits in histiocytes in the dermis of the lid. These may be associated with diabetes mellitus or high cholesterol levels. Treatment. Excision may be advised for cosmetic reasons, but recurrence are very common. In this picture, you can clearly see the xanthelasma. Next is hemangioma. Hemangiomas of the lids are common tumors. These occur in three forms, which we have studied already. They are capillary hemangioma, port wine stain, and cavernous hemangiomas. Here you can see a few pictures of hemangiomas. Next is neurofibroma. Eyelid neurofibroma may occur as solitary tumor which is well circumscribed, diffuse or plexiform neurofibroma which is usually associated with orbital involvement. The involved eyelid is thickened, ptotic and has an S-shaped contour. The thickened nerve can be palpated giving a bag of worm feel. Lids and orbits are commonly affected in neurofibromatosis, otherwise called von Reckling-Hussens disease. Neurofibromatosis or von Reckling-Hussens disease is characterized by multiple tumors in the skin, nervous system and other organs. Cutaneous manifestations are very characteristic and vary from cephalolid spots to neurofibromata. Ocular manifestations include neurofibromas of the lids and orbit, glioma of optic nerve and congenital glaucoma. This is a picture of neurofibroma of upper eyelid. Next is keratoacanthomas. Keratoacanthomas occur as non-pigmented protrusion with a keratin-filled central crater. These are comparatively uncommon tumors that grow rapidly for 2 to 6 weeks and then spontaneously involute over a few months. Differential diagnosis need to be made sometimes from the squamous cell carcinoma. Treatment consists of complete excision and biopsy. This is a picture of keratoacanthoma. Next is nevus. Nevi are common cutaneous lesions that arise from the arrested epidermal melanocytes. Pigmented nevi can be congenital or acquired. Congenital nevi are usually small and uniform in color. Rare variants include a kissing or split nevus or divided nevus that involves corresponding parts of upper and lower eyelid. This is a picture of divided nevi of eyelids. Acquired nevi. Depending upon the depth of involvement, acquired nevi are of three types: junctional nevi, intradermal nevi, and compound nevi. Junctional nevi located at the epidermis or dermis junction and are flat brown in appearance. Intradermal nevi located within the dermis are elevated lesions which may not be visibly pigmented. Compound nevi are slightly elevated and share features of junctional and dermal nevi. The second one is precancerous conditions. It's also known as premalignant tumors. These are sola keratosis and xeroderma pigmentosa. This is a picture of sola keratosis. Sola keratosis is also known as eyelid actinic keratosis. Actinic keratosis, though a common lesion of sun-exposed skin, is relatively uncommon on the eyelids. Clinical features include a flat scaly lesion with hyperkeratosis with or without keratin horn. Histologically, it is characterized by parakeratosis and cellular atypia but no invasion. Xeroderma pigmentosa. Characteristic features of this autosomal recessive disease are progressive cutaneous pigmentation resulting from damage on exposure to natural sunlight. Bird-like facies is typical of this condition. Predisposition to develop lid tumors. Example: basal cell carcinoma, squamous cell carcinoma, and melanoma, and conjunctival malignancies. This is a picture of conjunctival tumor in a xeroderma patient. The third one is malignant tumors. Commonly observed tumors include squamous cell carcinoma, basal cell carcinoma, malignant melanoma, and sebaceous gland adenocarcinoma. This is a picture of squamous cell carcinoma. This is the second commonest malignant tumor of the lid. Basal cell carcinoma. It is the commonest malignant tumor of the lids, usually seen in elderly people. This is a picture of malignant melanoma. Malignant melanoma, also known as melanocarcinoma. Malignant melanoma is a rare tumor of the lid. It may arise from a pre-existing nevus, but usually arise from de novo from the melanocytes present in the skin. Sebaceous gland carcinoma. It is a rare tumor arising from the meibomian glands. Sebaceous gland adenocarcinoma being the commonest malignancy of eyelid, followed by basal cell and squamous cell carcinoma. This is a picture of meibomian gland carcinoma of lower eyelid. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. See you in the next class. Take care. Bye bye.